What's going on? Um, Today I just kind of wanted to discuss something that was just kind of on my mind, and it's about the future of Halo. Um, I'm just going to kind of jump into it, and if you kind of pick up along the way. 343 needs to get their shit together, or Microsoft might genuinely just pull the plug on this game. Nobody is playing Halo Infinite, and the sales are fucking piss poor and kind of prove that. I think the first issue is the lack of features in Halo Infinite. I think 343 knocked it out of the park with the gameplay. They somehow managed to please the, modern 343 crowd that grew up with Halo 4, 5, and Infinite, and also the OG guys who grew up with like Halo 3 and Halo Reach. So that's not really the problem. The problem is there's so little going on due to a lack of features. Even after they were put in the game, the core audience just kind of left. Like, there's nobody here to play the game. Yeah, we have Forge now and working custom games, but nobody gives a shit. If you go to the Steam charts, you can see there are less people playing Infinite than Master Chief Collection, games that came out well over a decade ago now. Like, to put this in perspective, just imagine if Halo Reach in like 2010 dropped with like 3 game modes and you had to unlock all the colors through DLC and you couldn't like just, customize your character that way. Not to mention, you didn't get, Forge World and Forge till like 6 to 8 months later. I'm sorry to say, but people at the time would have wrote it off and went and played Call of Duty or just went back to playing Halo 3. My other point is that live service just kind of won't work with a modern Halo game. Well, it kind of can and can't. You need a good wealth of content at launch. I'm okay with like 8 to 10 really good multiplayer maps if that means we have less content. I'd rather not have 14 to 18 really mid-made maps. I am aware that this would probably increase the development time, which I'd be okay with. I'd be willing to wait 4 to 5 years for a really solid game if it means, Microsoft doesn't pull the plug on this entire series. I mean, they've been known to do that with studios they buy out, and I know Halo is pretty much the only reason people are still playing on Xbox. That and like, I don't know, Forza. I know we have Bethesda now, so there's that. I kind of forgot we've got some better exclusives, but I'm on PC, so it doesn't really matter to me. I can play them all. Next, I want to touch on specific features I think the game should just have at launch that were standard in 2007, even with a newer engine. Halo is going to be on the Unreal Engine. I don't know if you know this, but they used to develop on an engine called the Blam engine, which has been around since like Halo CE back in like 2001. So it's got a lot of weird and niche things, and with the way Microsoft and 343 operate in the modern day, I just don't think it's viable to use the Blam engine because they have like interns that work there for basically a year and then they're gone, so they don't really get any employee benefits, and that's kind of a problem when you're developing a game like Halo, where it's a very tight-knit community of people and it's kind of an arena shooter. I don't really know what else to say other than that. But I was going to say some of the things I'd like to see in a new Halo is a simple written campaign like Halo 1 through 3. The story needs to be simple and surface level that you can understand it, and if you want more, you can watch shows and read the books later on. There's a lot of cool details, like in Halo 1, for example. If you go back and read the books, you can learn way more than what's in the game, because Halo CE, let's be honest, yeah, it's a 20-year-old game, so fair enough, and it was also the first Halo game, is pretty surface level and kind of fucking ass. So the other thing I wanted to touch on is working custom games. We really need working custom games at launch, and Forge. A big reason people still played Halo Reach, like at the time when the Xbox 360 was still, really kicking it in its last few years, deep into 2016 and 17 maybe, or like 2015 through 17 or so, was because Halo Reach had just a wealth of custom games content and player-made content in Forge, and that's why people still play that game to this day on MCC. Same with like Halo 3 and other shit. The other thing is trying to adapt an old game style is kind of hard. Like I said in the beginning, Infinite managed to pull it off. We just really need to stop having these half-baked, non-working fucking games at launch. If it's not ready, delay it. Because what ends up happening is, yeah, people at first think Halo Infinite is the greatest shit ever, but once you kind of run out of shit to do, there's well, there's nothing to do and nobody's going to play it. Nobody's going to come back each month to complete battle pass challenges. Like, why do I have to unlock all this basically normal shit that I could get in Halo 3 when the game was at launch at level 1 that I can't get in Infinite? Like, shit like colors. I shouldn't have to pay for colors and armor cores. Oh yeah, and there's like a bunch of different armor chassis. Apparently they're all free now. Like I said, I haven't touched Infinite in a good minute, so I don't even know. Because that game's ass. I just play MCC. And I also would like to point out that I'm sure Microsoft is pretty much just poking 343 with a stick constantly. You know, who knows what the corporate overlords ultimately are saying to these poor fuckers that are working on this game. But I think we need a consistent team of people that'll work on this game. And if we want it to be good, you need a tight-knit group to write the story, compose music, and things like that. Honestly, I don't. For example, with the soundtrack, I don't know who made the Halo 4 soundtrack, but I don't think it was Marty O'Donnell, because I think he went at the time with the dudes at Bungie to make Destiny's soundtrack before he got abruptly kicked off. I know most of the Halo team, like the OG Bungie team, is pretty much gone when it comes in terms of like 343 Industries. Not many of the OG Halo guys are working on the games anymore, but I do think you guys need to have like a really tight-knit team in order to make a good game. So, yeah, that's my shitty Halo video. Alright, see you guys in 6 months.